Hello everyone, we are back for the first time since 2002 here at the Sachsenring. And in fact, a lot of the drivers say this is their favorite track in the calendar. So, welcome everyone, we're excited to get qualifying. The sun is shining, we've got perfect summer conditions. Of course, that also means it's going to be very challenging today. And now at this point in time, it's all about the championship, of course, and collecting valuable points. And Thomas Preining is sitting in the car so ready to get qualifying because he is the leader of the championship. He's got 6 points ahead of Mirko Bortolotti. So it's going to be exciting today, that's for sure. And now let's get qualifying. Here are your commentators.
Thanks very much. Good morning, Verena. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Sachsenring. 20 minutes of frenetic qualifying coming up for what will be round 12 of the DTM 2023. And Thomas Preining ready to go, poised and in the car. And like yesterday, perhaps going to go early and run early. He didn't got out of the car halfway through the session yesterday, so went out, put in a couple of laps, and that was it from him. It was good enough ultimately to get him on the second row of the grid. He didn't qualify in the top three, but Kelvin van der Linde had a 5-place grid penalty yesterday after qualifying third, so he did get onto the second row of the grid, and from there he went on to get a podium, his 5th of the season, and moving into the championship lead, back into the championship lead after a rough day at the office for Mirko Bortolotti, who could only muster a 9th place finish. It was looking rather good for Mirko in the first half of the race, but then it all went wrong in the pit stop. He came in and spun the wheels while the car was still up on the jacks, but he also then had a problem with the ABS, and the car just wasn't performing to its best for the second half of the race. So with that and the run through the penalty box, only 9th place for him, and that means that having had a 7-point advantage at the start of the weekend, he has now, Mirko Bortolotti, a 6-point deficit. Well, this was the star of yesterday's race, Luca Stolz, and indeed the star of yesterday's qualifying, getting his first ever DTM pole position, the German driver, and also then going on to win the race in fairly dominant fashion. Sheldon van der Linde, the reigning champion, had a pretty good day with a top 6 finish yesterday. Not anything to write home about, but given that the BMWs looked like they were struggling at the start of the weekend during the practice on Friday, and not a particularly quick qualifying session for Sheldon yesterday, then I think he would have been happy-ish with a top 6 finish that he managed to get. He only qualified 11th yesterday, but with others getting these 5-place grid penalties after accumulating reprimands. If you get 3 reprimands for driving infringements, then you automatically get a 5-place grid penalty at the next race. And that's what happened to Kelvin van der Linde, Frank Pereira, Lauren Heinrich and Ricardo Feller. And the top 2 in the championship, Bortolotti and Preining, both are on 2 reprimands. They've got to be a little bit careful. We saw just previously the onboard shot from Jack Aitken's Ferrari. He was very unfortunate yesterday. Contact in the early encounters during the first couple of corners ultimately damaged the front of the car and the radiator, and he was losing fluid from the car, so had to retire it when he had been running in an excellent 4th place. So he'll be one to watch. And I think Kelvin van der Linde will be one to watch today because he was quick enough to qualify 3rd yesterday, had to come from 8th, and he finished 5th in the race, but he was all over his teammate Ricardo Feller for the last few laps. But you got the sense that the team didn't really want him to overtake Ricardo, because Ricardo is going for the championship title. The team are also going for the team's championship. But certainly sense that 5th place wasn't really representative of how quick Kelvin was yesterday. And remember, the top 3 from yesterday have to carry success ballast for today's race. Not in qualifying, but in the race they will. So Luca Stolz, the winner, will have 20 kilograms of extra weight on board. And on a circuit where it's tough on tyres, that's going to be a big factor. For finishing 2nd yesterday, Thomas Preining is going to have himself an extra 10 kilograms of success ballast for the race, and 5 kilograms for Engin Güven, who became the first ever Turkish driver to get a podium in the DTM yesterday with his first podium in his first full season. 3rd place in the Porsche yesterday for Team 75 Bernhard. So cars, drivers ready to go out. 20 minutes of qualifying to set the grid for race 2, which starts at 1:30 this afternoon. We are in the commentary box at the moment in the shade, but it's going to be a hot one again later on. 19 degrees at the moment, but probably 27, 28 degrees by the time we get to the race this afternoon. And we are opposite the start-finish straight. We can see directly across to the SSR Performance Garage, where teams and drivers are getting poised, ready to come out. My name's Chris Hartley, and alongside me to cover qualifying and the race today in the commentary box here at the Sachsenring, it's good morning once again to Brian Oliver.
Good morning, Chris. It's another glorious day. These hot and sunny days have become a bit of a running theme in the DTM this year, apart from Nürburgring, where it was Baltic. But this track, it is so unusual. Yesterday, it was all about the tyres and managing them throughout the race. A unique circuit with lots of undulation, lots of blind crests. Once again, a critical qualifying session. Now, in previous qualifying sessions this year, we've seen a lot of the drivers waiting in the pits to the very last minute before putting in a fast lap. Yesterday seemed to be a little bit more stretched out, and we actually had entertainment pretty well for the full 20 minutes. I wonder if we're going to have the same today. Riding on board with Mauro Engel and the team man filter, Mercedes AMG, he had an awful day yesterday and will be looking to make amends.
Yeah, Mauro was involved in contact coming down to turn 2 with Ricardo. Fella went into the gravel trap, damage to the left of the car, then damage to the right as he went into the barriers, and ultimately retired from the race. But it was bits of his bodywork that brought out the safety car early on in the race. He lost, what did he lose? A wing mirror, part of a wing. He lost the Mercedes badge, in a bit of a state, really. But what we also saw from the onboard and the replay was that in and around that incident was Lucas Auer. Now, in the press release that the team put out last night, Team Windward, he did pick up a bit of damage as well, Lucas Auer, so he carried on, but he said that the car was out handling pretty badly after that. He said it was never a good day anyway. We struggled in qualifying. Lucas said, I wasn't happy with my own performance either, so we've got a lot of work to do, but he was definitely carrying a bit of damage himself, and he ultimately ran wide into the gravel trap, more damage to the car, and Luki retired from the race yesterday, which was a real shame for him, because he's been one of the drivers notching up a lot of points of late. He's had 4 consecutive top 6 finishes, been getting podiums in the last couple of rounds as well. He worked his way up to 5th place in the championship, but he really needs a good day today. Christian Hohenadel, who's the boss of Team Windward, said, you know, we've got a lot of analysing to do, because when you've got one Mercedes on pole position and we're 6/10 slower, then clearly we're doing something wrong. So I wonder if there have been some late nights looking at data, Brian, to try and sort things out at Mercedes.
Yeah, you can't really blame that one on the BOP, can you? Because Lucas Stoltz did prove that he could do it, and he was also carrying 5 kilograms of success ballast as well yesterday, and he still won the race. So the Mercedes has the pace, so the team, a lot of head scratching going on. The cars have been pretty evenly matched over this weekend. We saw some BOP adjustments, late Friday night into Saturday morning, and it does seem like we've got a good spread across the field, different manufacturers at the top as well. Ferrari and Emil Frey Racing will be looking for a better day yesterday. Certainly Jack Aitken will. He was looking so quick at the start of the race. Looked like he was on for a podium, and then a hole in the radiator, and the car had to retire to the pits with overheating issues. Yeah,
Jack was looking really rapid at the start of the race, wasn't he? He qualified 9th, but actually started 6th on the grid because of the grid penalties for others, with his teammate Thierry Vermeulen alongside, and they were both attacking Mirko Bortolotti at the start of the race. They were sandwiching the Lamborghini, and as I say, Jack got himself up to 4th place and looked very racy until he had to retire the car. So I think he'll be another one to watch. He's already proven himself to be a race winner. He's also competed in the Intersports Car Championship this year and win and a podium. And as already announced, he's got a full programme with Cadillac next year in the States. So Jack will be going for wins, not really thinking about championship points. I don't think he's really got an eye on trying to win the championship now. Just be trying to win as many races as he can, which could make him a dangerous opponent. And impressive as well yesterday was the drive from Thierry Vermeulen, although I think less impressed with Thierry was Sheldon van der Linde at one point. They came together, didn't they?
Yes, they did, and yes, a few frayed tempers there, I think. Sheldon van der Linde, though, did recover well for 6th place. He said he needed to finish in the top 6 in both races this weekend to keep his championship challenge on track, as we see Sandra Holzem going wide out of turn 7 and picking up a bit of dust. He carries on his way, but Sheldon van der Linde really recognising that the championship is slipping away a little bit. He's 4th in the standings, but he needs to be scoring consistently and at the top end of the points as well if he wants to successfully defend his title.
Well, after today, there's 112 points still up for grabs, so that's the cut-off. You've got to be within 112 to have any chance of winning the championship at the end of today, with just 2 events to go after this at the Red Bull Ring and Hockenheim. We saw Marco Wittmann having a big battle in the latter stages of the race yesterday with David Schumacher. David was saying that he was struggling to get the most grip on the tyres as well, which is a real issue around here, where you need grip, because at the back of the circuit here, Brian, once you get to turn 7 and beyond, just really that first sector that's tight and twisty, the rest of it, big wide open corners, huge undulations, and at high speed, you really are relying on the tyres holding up for you.
It really is such a fast circuit, and especially on that rear section. It takes an awful lot of courage as well as you come up over the blind crest to keep your foot buried on it. Out of turn 10 and down towards turn 11, this is where Thomas Preining is heading at the moment. It's the part of the track that is nicknamed the waterfall. There's a very good reason for it. That's what it looks like. When you look at it head on, it's a heck of a drop. We ran down that on Friday night. It's spectacular as the cars come down there. Then it's heavy braking in towards turn 12. It's a good opportunity to line up the car in front, and you can get a good run into 13 and then onto the pit straight to make an overtaking move. But we have seen many cars get it wrong into that turn 12, and there's a very deep gravel trap waiting for you if you do get it wrong.
So nobody's setting lightning times as yet. Lucas Stoltz on pole position yesterday, just to give you a reference time. Pole yesterday was a 1 minute 17.633. Marco Wittmann crosses the line, 118.846. Now, we're not necessarily going to go as quick as yesterday. The track is a living, evolving thing. There's been lots of cars, lots of different types of rubber on it since yesterday's qualifying session, since yesterday's race even. And obviously it's one of the first sessions out on track. We've only had GT Masters having a qualifying session this morning, and the temperatures are not yet up, so we shall see how they fare. But at the moment, Project One have a 1-2 in qualifying. Marco Wittmann and Sandro Holzem, who came into the championship a couple of rounds ago. Let's hear from Lucas Stoltz team radio.
There is no pickup on the tires.
Greeted with silence.
Yeah, copy.
Oh, there we go. You found the button in the end. Copy that. No pickup on the tyres. Okay, so that's them trying to figure out how much dead rubber is out there off the racing line.
Well, they've done a good job sweeping it overnight, I think. The track staff who work here many hours here at the Sachsenring. There was an awful lot of action yesterday in all the classes that were racing. There was an awful lot of carbon fibre around the place, and the track staff have worked hard to clean the place up. Pristine as ever here at the Sachsenring. The track temperature is up at 20.6 degrees centigrade, so probably a lot cooler than it's going to be when the race happens later on. The air temperature still fairly low compared to yesterday, but the rubber is getting laid down. The track will get faster and faster. Unlike other sessions that we've seen this year, we've got quite a few cars out on track.
We've got our first driver in the 117s as well. Kevin van der Linde had done a 118.0. Jack Aitkins just a 117.993 to go 93 thousandths quicker. So that's not a bad lap time at all. I'm not sure it's going to be good enough for pole position, but it could be thereabouts with that. We'll see how he gets on. Fairly quiet circuit. Marvin Dienst bells for the pits. So Aitken and van der Linde, the top two, they're the two kind of representative-ish times at the moment. Then you've got a big gap back of nearly 9/10 of a second to Marco Wittmann in third. I don't think Marco's going to be third for long, though, because here comes the championship leader, Thomas Preining. Race winner this year, of course, as well. 5 podiums now, and huge consistency. Points in all 11 races so far this season. Preining looking good here as he makes his way out of the final turn. Runs as wide as he dares, goes over the start-finish line. Third quickest with that one. His first lap in anger, 118.226. But I think it's more to come, isn't there, Brian, from Thomas Preining?
Yes, just building up the heat into the tyres, getting the tyres into the window. Absolutely critical. Then you get a couple of laps where the tyres are at their optimum position, optimum temperature, and the optimum grip. And that's where he's aiming for. So you could see he was pushing hard because you could see how wide he was going out of the final corner, but building up that speed bit by bit. We're getting towards the halfway point of the session already. We've had 13 cars out on track. Still Jack Aitken, the only one into the 17s. I think there's going to be a few more very shortly.
Yeah, so far we got 3 sectors and 3 different fastest sector drivers. So Dennis Olsen through the long sector. Sorry, Thomas Preining now through the long sector because he's just gone quicker. Then Aitken through the short second sector, and then Kelvin van der Linde through the third sector. Right, this might be the lap then. Thomas Preining, excellent first sector, 40.76. We did see some 40.5s yesterday, but it's definitely looking like he's going to be on provisional pole for today, at least, for now, at least, with 10 minutes to go. So just about halfway into the session. See him taking the car out wide onto the curbs as he attacks the final turn, turn 13, accelerates up over the curbs. There is the line, and the time is a 118.172. So he lost it in that last sector as Maro Engel has gone fourth with a 118.726. Dennis Olsen has had 3 consecutive laps now. That's a slightly better one.
Box, don't impede anybody on the inlap.
So Jack Aitken, top of the times, 1:17.993. He's in the pits now. Kelvin van der Linde second with a 1:18.086. Thomas Preining, despite being fastest in that long first sector, just fell away a little bit at the end of the lap. So third with a 1:18.172. Maro Engel fourth with a 1:18.720. And he goes across the line with a 1:18.409. Proves his time but stays in fourth place. Lauren Heinrich is fifth. Marco Wittmann is sixth. They're both in the pits at the moment.
Yeah, it is tricky, that last section, as you go in towards turn 12 and up the hill, and then it is absolutely blind. You come out of the final corner, the blind crest of turn 13 and out onto the start-finish line, and getting it exactly right is difficult. We see so many cars going wide on turn 13, and I think that is potentially where Thomas Preining lost the time in that third sector. Just hear the radio. Didn't quite pick up what was being said there, but Kelvin van der Linde, a personal best in sector 1.
Box.
And we've got about half the field have yet to go out and set a lap time. So Kelvin van der Linde currently on the front row of the grid.
Another Euro in the swear box.
As Kelvin goes over the line, 1:18.3.
Copy, we go 45 nose.
So lots of discussion on the radio about changing setups. Not quite working out for Kelvin van der Linde at the moment. I think that circuit has changed quite a bit since yesterday, hasn't it? So bear in mind that on Saturday, you always absolutely have a brand new set of tyres for qualifying. You get 4 sets to use for 2 qualifyings and 2 races, but obviously the race is split into 2. So you saw new sticker tyres going on in qualifying yesterday, new sticker tyres going on in either the first or the second part of the race yesterday as well. It'll be the same today. Here's a great view. We're loving this on board. Straight into the eyes of Ricardo Feller, third in the championship. He left it very late to go out yesterday. He often does, but he's going out a bit earlier today. 8 minutes to go. He kind of had the track to himself yesterday towards the end of the session, but it didn't really pay off for him. He could only manage 7th quickest in the ABT Sportsline Audi. After looking for their 75th win in the DTM, if they can get that today, they'll be very happy. And if they can get on the podium, it'll be their 250th podium in the DTM. And ABT were the team that won last time the DTM came here, all those years ago, 21 years ago, with Laurent Aiello taking 2 victories for the team in the wonderful Audi A4 Quattro. Bortolotti then, second in the championship, is out on track as well, hoping for a better day. I mean, the positives from yesterday is that the car was quick, wasn't it? It was good in qualifying, and he looked good in the race. I don't think he'd have necessarily finished on the podium, but he'd definitely finished a lot higher than 9th without his issues.
Yes, and there was also the issue with the ABS as well that was catching him out as he goes past Marvin Dienst, who's been shown a black and white flag for driving slowly on the racing line. It was at this event last year that Marvin Dienst, along with Jan Marszałkowski, took an emotional win in the GT Masters race. It was phenomenal stuff, and Marvin Dienst will be thinking about that. Would be hoping he can do the same today. Currently needs to build up a bit more time, a 1:19.674, and that black and white flag, which may well see him with a penalty if the stewards feel that he was driving too slowly on the racing line.
Jack Aitken, who's on provisional pole position, has gone back out as well. The best qualifier on average this season has been the championship leader, Thomas Preining. He's only had 1 pole. That's him done it. Look, so he's out of the car again like he was yesterday. So third at best it's going to be. Can't get any more out of it. Lauren Heinrich is also out, so he's done for the session. He's going to be 5th at best. But yeah, he's averaged 6th on the grid this year, Thomas Preining, with 5 front row starts, 4 seconds, and a first. Dennis Olsen also done. So like yesterday, the Manthey EMA Porsches, 1 run and that's it.
Yeah, that's really surprising to see them out with, we're not even at the 3/4 point of the session yet, and both of the Manthey EMA cars parked up, the driver's out, they've decided they've got the most out of it that they can. But I think Thomas Preining, well, he doesn't look especially happy, and I think he was probably hoping for better than P3, and that is going to be under threat because there's a lot of drivers who haven't actually shown their hand yet.
Yeah, exactly right. Bortolotti's just at the absolute best first sector time. I suppose there might be a point of thinking, well, let's save the tyres a bit because we need the tyres in the race at this track where it's absolutely critical. But third, as you say, I'd be surprised if he's still third at the end of the session because you've got some quick drivers yet to run. So Bortolotti then going for provisional pole position, comes out of the final corner. He's trying to beat a 1:17.993. Oh, and he does it easily. 1:17.366. Absolute best in the first sector, absolute best in the second sector. Mirko's back, everybody. 6 tenths quicker than Jack Aitken because Aitken's gone back out. Kelvin van der Linde is in the pits. That might be the end of his session as well. But third place for him now. Fourth, because down to fourth place goes Thomas Preining. Mario Engel fifth. Patrick Niederhauser going well in sixth. Heinrich has finished his session in seventh.
On the right front tire.
Vibration on the front right for Thierry Vermeulen. So he's reported that back as Christopher Baker comes out of the pits. Everybody's set a lap time now. Mentioned Guwen, stone last at the moment. He was the driver that finished third yesterday.
Yes, I think he's still building the temperature in the tyres. He's just done 2 laps, so Guven's slowly going to be building it up and getting there. He might be a danger man at the end, the big danger man at the moment. Bortolotti, quickest of anybody again in Sector 1. I can't see anybody getting near a 17.366. That is insanely quick.
Except for Mirko Bortolotti, he might go quick on this. That's 3/10 quicker than Pole yesterday, whereas generally a lot of the other cars are struggling to match their times from yesterday. Excellent effort from Mirko Bortolotti. He's about to come over that crest in the background, and will it be an even quicker lap time from him? Well, another 1:17.385. But 19 thousandths of a second slower than his previous best. And Lucas Stoltz, stealth-like as always, has snuck through onto the front row of the grid from Pereira. Mirko Bortolotti's teammate has got it into third place as well. So Bortolotti, Stoltz, Pereira, Aitken now at the top 4. Jack Aitken's not had a mega first sector, 41.7, half a second down on the best sector, and he's backed it off through the next sector. So he's not going for it yet. Certainly going for it is Lucas Auer, putting all his cards on the table as he ever does. 13th place though is all that first lap can muster, and that will also affect the start of the next lap, won't it? That run out of the last turn.
Yes, it takes a couple of corners to clean your tyres up once you've got dirt on them. Now we're looking at Einchan Guwen as he comes around to complete his lap. This will lift him off the bottom of the table. Now where will it put him? 6th. That's a little bit better, isn't it? So Guwen also doing a good job there. Ricardo Feller now inherits the bottom spot on the timing sheet, but he's on a quick lap as well. Lucas Stoltz looking to improve. Can he improve on the second place? No, he can't. Mirko Bortolotti still out there, still getting quick.
Yeah, Stoltz was 3/10 down in the first sector. He lost another couple in the middle of the sector. He made a bit back at the end, but was never on to improve his own lap time, so he might have to settle for second place. Anybody else out there on a real flyer? Not really. It looks like it could be a good lap from Tim Heinemann. It's certainly looking like he's going to be better than 13th as he comes through.
Well,
he is, but only by 1. 12.
2 cars at the bottom of the timing sheets at the moment. Sheldon van der Linde and Ricardo Feller. So 2 drivers building up the speed, but now Sheldon van der Linde improves on that. He crosses the line, but 12th is probably a lot less than he was hoping for out of that. He's probably got a little bit more to come from that. Here's Ricardo Feller.
Yeah, he was 10th. He suddenly became 12th because Ras went quicker than him, and then Ricardo Feller went 4th quickest. And he's on another charge lap here. So Ricardo, 3rd in the championship. 3 personal best last time out. He's still half a second away. And Jack Aitken's gone 2nd. So back onto the front row of the grid for the Ferrari of Jack Aitken. And that puts him within a 10th and a half of Bortolotti. It's still a big advantage for Bortolotti though. But Jack Aitken with a 1:17.514. 31 thousandths quicker than Lucas Stoltz to steal a spot on the front row of the grid with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Here's Pereira sending sparks flying. It's a good lap, but 4th place, can't improve his time, not quite. He almost matched it, but he stays on the 2nd row of the grid, but that could be a handy ally for Mirko Bortolotti, who's gone into the pits now. What about Ricardo Feller? 40.7 through the first sector, half a second down in the first sector, so it doesn't look like he's going to improve, even though the second sector has been good, but sector 1's the one that takes in the first 7 corners of 13, all that twisty section, and sector 2 takes in turns 8, 9 and 10, and only the last 2 turns, and the back straight for sector 3. So Ricardo Feller, yeah, half a second down, not improving his position, and remaining in 5th place behind Bortolotti, Aitken, Stoltz and Pereira as we go to the final minute of the session. Thierry Vermeulen up into the 4th place. He's 3 consecutive weekends now, got his best qualifying, he's getting better and better. So 4th place now for Thierry Vermeulen, and that would be his best so far this season. He was 6th yesterday. Oh, out wide the Ferrari of Jack Aitken after his lap. After his lap, they put him 2nd, but he's not going to get another good one now.
No. Ooh, I think the tyres might be a bit dirty.
Yeah. It looked good though, Jack. Absolutely spectacular run through the gravel trap.
Guarantee there'll be a big pile of gravel on the floor in the garage once he gets back. Look at that. He keeps the power on. Look, he's
His
not
eyes
even
widened
flinching.
there a bit,
Not
didn't
even flinching.
He wasn't blinking there very much. Yeah, that was coming out of turn 8, which is one that does catch them out, because you get that elevation change there as well. It's the bottom of a valley, you go down and then up out of there, and it's very easily done, especially when you're on the limit. But good lap previous to that for Jack Aitken. But the two Ferraris looking great, 2nd and 4th. The checkered flag is now out. We see Lucas Stoltz getting out of the car. Another good day for him, though, 3rd place, but he will have that success ballast, 15 more kilograms than he carried yesterday. He had 5 yesterday. He's looking for a 3rd podium on the trot, but it looks, to all intent and purposes, unless we have a miracle from Maro Engel, because he's half a second down in the 1st sector, that is going to be that in terms of the front row. It is a better lap, though, for Maro Engel. Good effort. He goes from 14th to 7th with that, right at the end of the session. What about Justin Vega? Is going to be pretty much the last driver to come through. This doesn't look bad either from the Mercedes driver. Through he comes, 13th place, 8/10 of a second off in the end, and that's an improvement for him. Jack Aitken, absolute best middle sector. How's he done that on those dirty tyres? He still does a 1:17.6, which in itself would have been good enough for 4th place. That's impressive.
It is. He should take up a career in rally driving, I should think. But yeah, he's going to be starting on the front row for this race. Hopefully this will make up for yesterday, which was such a disappointment after such pace early on.
How's he gone 1/10 slower than his best lap, having had that run through the gravel trap? I tell you what, he'd be thinking, I might have gone for pole if I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
He didn't get it, though. This man did. Mirko Bortolotti, and crucially, 3 championship points. And with that, he halves the gap to Thomas Preining from 6 points down to 3, the championship lead, because Thomas Preining went early. Remember, he was 3rd when he got out of the car. He ends up back in 11th spot, Tommy Preining, and with 10 kilograms of success ballast for the race. No wonder he didn't look particularly happy with the lap. Bortolotti then, what a way to come back from disappointment yesterday. Pole position for him. Jack Aitken, ditto, 2nd place. Lucas Stoltz, he's looking great again in 3rd. Thierry Vermeulen, terrific effort in 4th place. Franck Pereira has been quick all weekend as well. It was quick yesterday, but he had that penalty. So he's 5th. Ricardo Fella 6th. Maro Engel 7th. Kelvin van der Linde 8th. Ayenju Guen 9th. And Arjun Maini, we didn't see him at all in that session. That's his best qualifying of the year for Arjun. Well done, Arjun Maini. 10th place out of Thomas Preining in 11th, the championship leader. They're the rest of the runners, and another frustrating day for the Project 1 BMW driver Marco Wittmann, back in 22nd place. It's a season that is just not coming together at all for them after just one really good weekend at Zandvoort. So Mirko Bortolotti on pole position. As I say, that will give him 3 championship points, 2 points for Aitken, a point as well for Lucas Stoltz to help his cause. But for Mirko Bortolotti, who is the 2nd best qualifier on average, that's a 3rd pole position of the season now. So there you go, confirmation of the gap coming down to 3 points. Oh, might as well start from scratch, hadn't we, with this championship? It's almost dead level after all these races, all these sessions. 12th race of the season coming up, and Ricardo Fella just 19 points behind still, so he is very much in the mix. Sheldon van der Linde hanging on in there, 38 points adrift in 4th, and Lucas Auer definitely needs a good day today to try and catch the gap after not finishing the race yesterday, but he's back in 14th position. So the Pirelli P0 award goes to the ever cool-looking Mirko Bortolotti, and terrific effort that. 2 really good laps as well, not just one. Pole position for Mirko, and he's going to take some stopping. No weight on the car either.
No, well, that's one advantage of yesterday, isn't it? There is the man who came in 3rd place in the qualifying session, Lucas Stoltz, adding to what was a fantastic day yesterday, and will be looking for a good haul of points again today.
Jack Aitken in 2nd place. So Jack's had 1 pole, 2 seconds and a 3rd now in qualifying. Can he get a podium finish? Very good chance, I would say. No success ballast on that car either for the race, nor that one, the Lamborghini. Could be quite an interesting first corner with Bortolotti and Aitken, because they came together yesterday. Let's get some reaction from qualifying with Verena.
And I'm here with Lucas Stoltz, who managed to get P3 in qualifying. Yesterday you won the race, today you'll be starting in P3. So what's in it from there?
Yeah, good weekend on the Sachsenring so far, I would summarize. Yeah, quali was good. I think I extract everything from the car. Was just a nice day. It's again really, really sunny. So yeah, I hope for a good race. Will be not easy because I have 20 kilos in the car. But yeah, for sure we'll push for another podium.
And I was just going to say, you did mention yesterday that the Sachsenring is your favorite racetrack. So if you end up on the podium today again, I guess it'll be like that even more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the favorite track of the DTM calendar. Nordschleife is still the all-time favorite. But yeah, just a nice track.
All right, well, best of luck for the race later on. Luca, thank you so much. And I'm going to try to grab one of the drivers later on. So back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Yeah, chilled out. Luca Stoltz there. I think he's just been for a Sunday afternoon drive. This is the pole lap then from Mirko Bortolotti from an onboard perspective. Utter commitment from the Italian driver who was leading the championship for much of his first season last year, remember. This is the run down the waterfall into turn 12, attacking that corner. What's terrifically impressive is out of that corner to the next, they already get up to 180 kilometres an hour, drop down for that final turn to second gear, get on the throttle, let it run out wide, but not too wide, right to the edge of the circuit, over the curbs, over the line. Bosh, pole position for Mirko Bortolotti. And Stefan Schlund's team, SSR Performance, absolutely delighted with that. They know how important every turn of the wheel, every qualifying session, every single point is this year. And when you think about the points that drivers get from qualifying, that's 12 points now that he scored in qualifying. Thomas Preining has scored 11 points from qualifying. And you bear in mind there's only 3 points the difference between the top two in the championship. It shows just how important that is. We're looking forward to the race then at half on this afternoon. From Brian and myself, it's goodbye. Let's go back down to Verena.
And I'm here with the man who's the pole setter, Mirko Bortolotti. Congratulations, phenomenal position, obviously. And also now in the championship, it's only 3 points difference between you and Preining, so you're picking up the points. So what are you going to make out of it? The last time you started in pole position at the Nürburgring, you managed to win the race.
No, actually, last time was Lausitzring, but we managed to win that one. So I don't know. You never know in DTM. You know, it's just we can only focus session by session, and this session was perfect. Was probably one of the best laps I ever had in quali. It's such a nice track in qualifying. If everything works out and you hit the peak of the tires in the perfect way and you don't make any mistakes, it's one of the best tracks that I know. It's you know, you have to be so much on the limit, but it's so easy to go over the limit and put it in the gravel. So it's always important to find that good balance at the limit. That's something we managed to do today, so I'm really, really happy with this pole position. Not worrying too much about the points right now. We're just enjoying this phenomenal lap and looking forward to the race.
So at the moment, it's not really about pressure.
You're
not feeling the pressure too much of the championship at the moment. You mentioned you're just enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying it. Not at all, not at all. I mean, unfortunately, we only have 5 races left. I would like, if it was for me, I would like to go for another 20 races because we're having a lot of fun. So yeah, we try to make the most out of the last 5 races now.
All right, Mirko, thank you so much. Best of luck for the race. And we really are looking forward to the race later on. That is definitely for sure. So we'll see you later in the race. Bye-bye.